What if the next global war doesn't start with a warning, but with a single missile? What if one strike between Iran and Israel forces the United States into a direct war overnight? And the most shocking question, are American forces already positioned, waiting for that exact moment? Hello everyone, welcome back to WarTech. Today we are diving into one of the most explosive and dangerous questions in global geopolitics right now. Will America directly enter a war between Iran and Israel? And if it does, what happens next could reshape the entire world order. Right now, the United States has one of the most powerful military footprints in the Middle East. We are talking about tens of thousands of troops spread across strategic bases in countries like Qatar, Bahrain, Kuwait, and the UAE. The US Navy's Fifth Fleet is permanently stationed in Bahrain, controlling critical sea routes including the Strait of Hormuz, through which nearly 20% of the world's oil passes. This is not just presence. This is dominance. Aircraft carriers, stealth bombers, missile defense systems, all already in position. This means if a conflict escalates between Iran and Israel, America doesn't need time to prepare. It's already prepared. Now let's talk about the exterior layer of this geopolitical machine, the visible power. The US has deployed advanced fighter jets like F-35s and F-15s across the region, along with Patriot missile systems designed to intercept incoming threats. On top of that, surveillance drones and satellites are constantly monitoring Iranian military movements. From the outside, it looks like a shield, but it can instantly become a sword. The speed at which these assets can be activated is what makes this situation extremely dangerous. One miscalculation, one aggressive move, and the entire region could ignite. Inside this system, the structure is even more intense. Decision-making is centralized, fast, and backed by real-time intelligence. The Pentagon and White House are connected through global command systems that can launch responses within minutes. The interior of this war machine is not slow diplomacy, it's rapid response capability. And that is what makes the possibility of escalation so real. Performance-wise, the US military is unmatched. Its ability to project power globally is something no other country can replicate. In the Middle East, this means rapid deployment of airstrikes, naval blockades, and cyber warfare operations. If a war begins, America's performance would not be defensive for long. It would quickly shift to offensive dominance. Iran, on the other hand, has asymmetric warfare capabilities, missiles, drones, and proxy forces across the region. This creates a battlefield that is not traditional. It's unpredictable, layered, and extremely volatile. Now here comes the safety dimension. But ironically, this is where things become unsafe. The US has strong defense commitments to Israel. Under long-standing agreements, America is obligated to support Israel's security. This includes military aid, intelligence sharing, and in extreme cases, direct intervention. If Iran launches a large-scale attack on Israel, especially targeting civilians or critical infrastructure, the pressure on the US to act militarily would be enormous. Politically, strategically, and emotionally, it would be almost unavoidable. But here's the shocking reality. There is no official treaty that forces the US to declare war automatically. This means the decision ultimately lies with leadership in Washington. And that decision is influenced by multiple factors: public opinion, global alliances, economic risks, and the scale of the conflict. So when people ask, will America go to war? The real answer is, it depends on how far things go. Let's break down the unique selling points of this situation, the elements that make it different from past conflicts. First, the involvement of proxy groups. Iran does not fight alone. It has influence over groups like Hezbollah in Lebanon and various militias in Iraq and Syria. If war breaks out, it won't be limited to Iran and Israel. It will spread across multiple fronts. Second, cyber warfare. Both sides have advanced cyber capabilities, meaning attacks could target power grids, financial systems, and communication networks globally. Third, nuclear tension. While Israel is believed to have nuclear weapons, Iran's nuclear ambitions remain a global concern. This adds a level of fear that did not exist in many previous conflicts. Another critical factor is oil. The Middle East is still the heart of global energy supply. If conflict disrupts shipping routes, oil prices could skyrocket overnight. This would not just affect the region. It would impact every country, every economy. Inflation, market crashes, and economic instability could follow. So this is not just a military question. It's a global financial risk. Now think about the timeline. Wars today don't build slowly. They escalate instantly. A single missile strike, a targeted assassination, or even a cyber attack could trigger a chain reaction. And because the US is already deeply embedded in the region, its response time would be immediate. There would be no delay, no hesitation, just action. But here's where things get even more intense. Public opinion in the United States plays a huge role. After long wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, there is significant war fatigue among Americans. Many people do not want another prolonged conflict. However, if Israel is seen as under existential threat, public sentiment could shift rapidly. Media coverage, political pressure, and national security concerns could push the government toward intervention. So what about the price of this potential war? Not just in dollars, but in human cost. Financially, a large-scale war in the Middle East could cost the US hundreds of billions of dollars. But the real price is measured in lives, soldiers, civilians, and innocent people caught in the crossfire. The global economy would also pay a heavy price, with disruptions affecting everything from fuel to food supply chains. And now the final question, will it actually happen? At this moment, there is no confirmed decision by the United States to enter a direct war. Diplomatic efforts are still ongoing, and global powers are actively trying to prevent escalation. But the risk is real. The military presence is real. The alliances are real. And the tension is real. So the answer is not a simple yes or no. It is a high-stakes scenario where one wrong move could change everything. The world is watching, waiting, and hoping that this line is not crossed. As we move forward, one thing is clear. This is not just a regional conflict. It is a global pressure point. And if it explodes, the impact will be felt everywhere. Stay informed, stay aware, and keep watching WarTech Edge as we break down the most critical developments shaping our world.